What's going on, everyone? It's Ryan Pineda. We are going to go in depth on the 5 different methods that you can use to buy real estate with no money. I don't care how much money you have right now, this very moment, you can get into real estate today. In fact, you could go make $20,000 in your very first deal. You could make it in the next 30 days with some of these methods if you take action and make it happen. So what are you going to learn today? Well, number 1, you're going to learn how I've purchased over 500 properties without using my own money. 2, we're gonna go over the 5 methods to buy real estate with no money. So I'm gonna go in depth on all 5 and break them down. And then number 3, I'm gonna go over how you can make $100,000 this year investing in real estate. Let's first answer this question because it's super important. Why even get into real estate investing? There's a lot of other things you could do with your time. You could invest in lots of other things. You could do other careers. Why real estate? Well, number 1, it's made more millionaires than any other industry. Hands down, it's made more, and I think it's gonna make a lot. We've helped a ton of students become millionaires through real estate. Number 2, people are always gonna need a place to live. This ain't getting replaced by AI or any of this other stuff. Real estate is something that's real. People are always gonna need a place to live, so you don't have to worry about the industry leaving, okay? 3, it doesn't require any special skills. Unlike being a celebrity, an athlete, a model, any of these things that require like some form of natural talent that you either have or don't have, real estate's not like that. There's people of all races, people of all ages, people of all genders, anyone can get into real estate investing and succeed. I've seen people who are super smart succeed. I've seen people who aren't that smart succeed. So, my partner, Brian Davila, he's a smart guy, but he didn't even graduate high school, and he's a multimillionaire because of real estate investing. So anyone can succeed, all right? Number 4, you'll have more time than ever with your family. If you know me, I am a big family guy, and so real estate has allowed my family to live a life that I would have never imagined possible. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story in this course so, you have some context here. But before we get into the training, we got to first change your mindset. I could just jump in and tell you these 5 methods and let you be on your way, but if you don't believe you can do this, then you're going to have a tough time. You've got to first believe in yourself, and there's a lot of false beliefs that people have I'm going to go over. So let's first rearrange your mindset before all of that. And, first off, let me just start off with a few successes with our students because, one of the most powerful things you can do is give a testimony or a testimonial of just showing like you were before or you were where, somebody else was at, right? And these students were just like you probably right now. There's a couple of people on the left, they're getting together for a property they bought in Gardena, California. Charlene is talking about how she's had such a great experience in the academy and, she's meeting all these amazing people. So let's go over some common doubts that people have, okay? Number 1, they say, I don't have enough money. Well, here's the thing. I don't have enough money either, right? Like, I want to go buy $100 million buildings. I don't have $100 million cash just sitting here, okay? So you're never going to have enough money, all right? Even if you have 0 right now, I've had 0 many times being a multimillionaire. Like, I've had $0, but I had a net worth of millions of dollars because I just didn't have cash at that time. I had invested it all into real estate or businesses or whatever. So, basically in business and in real estate, you're always looking for more money, okay? And that's why the 5 methods I'm going to share with you are so important, all right? But this thought of I don't have enough money right this moment, get used to it because you're always going to be reinvesting your money and not having enough. But once you know how to get money, you realize that that's not a problem, okay? So no more excuses for saying I don't have enough money, all right? 2, I don't know enough. Now, this is a common one that people have, and look, here's the truth. Unfortunately, I make a lot of social media content and people consume it and they love it, but they still don't take action. And they tell me, they're like, I don't have enough knowledge, I just don't know. And I'm like, didn't you watch my stuff? Why didn't you take action from it? And the truth is, we can teach you. Like a wealthy investor, we have the coaching program, we can teach you the knowledge, but there are other things that go into it beyond just knowledge that make people successful. So I'll tell you about that here, as we go on. But another common doubt I hear is that the market isn't good. Now, look, I've been around in real estate since 2010. Back then, when prices were at all-time lows, I had people telling me, dude, I don't think it's a good time to buy. I think the market's going to go down. And I'm like, really? It just went down 80%. How's it going to go down anymore? People were still scared then. People were scared when I started flipping houses in 2015. People were scared in 2018. People were scared during COVID. People were scared when rates rose. People are scared now when the market's hotter. Like, they're always scared, okay? So no longer can you use that the market isn't good. Good investors make money no matter what's happening in the market. And, they've got a good team of mentors and advisors, moving and shaking to make the best moves during each kind of market cycle, right? Because your strategy is going to change depending on what the market's doing, all right? Last one, they say, I don't have enough time. I got a job, I got kids, I got a spouse. It's like, look, I got a lot of stuff going on too. I've got a third kid on the way right now. I've been married 10 years. I've got lots of different businesses. I'm making content, I'm making videos, I'm making courses. I don't have a lot of time, yet I find ways to get this done, and you can too. And I'll share with you my story here in a second about how I got started in real estate, and it was part-time. And I believe many of you can do it part-time as well to start, all right? So let me ask you a question, okay? All that being said, do you think you could do real estate if, number one, you had a blueprint, number two, you had access to money, number three, you knew how to use the market to your favor, and number four, you had the systems to buy back your time? Do you think you could do real estate if you had all of those things? You're watching this right now. I want you to verbally say yes. If you verbally say yes, you're now speaking it into existence. You're confirming that you believe you can do this, right? Because like I said, the first thing we got to do is change your mindset. I've got to change your mindset to get you to believe you can succeed, right? Because the tools are not enough. You have got to believe in you, and nobody else can do that for you. So I believe in you, and I want you to believe in you, all right? So if you had all this stuff, you think you do it? I do, all right? We can give you all of that at Wealthy Investor, all right? Just to say this again, we have a coaching program with thousands of students nationwide. We can help you have the blueprint. We can help you have everything that you need. Here's a couple other testimonials of just people who have changed their lives through real estate investing and working with us at Wealthy Investor. Someone on the left there got a subject to loan, which we're going to talk about here in one of the 5 methods. They're able to pick up a house at a 3.2% interest rate. Absolutely crazy right now. Ryan over here talked about getting his very first flip, which is absolutely incredible. Another guy, Ryan, here on the right, talked about how this month he's making a $180,000 gross profit. Now, even in that month, he had a $30,000 loss on a flip, which, not every deal's going to make money, but you make 180K and you had to take a loss, still it's not a bad month, right? So most people would be totally good with that in a year. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my story. So I got started in real estate in 2010. That picture on the left with me in the tie, I was 21 years old. I got my real estate license, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be an agent and represent people. Well, also during that time, I got drafted by the Oakland A's. So this was all in 2010. My dream was to not be a real estate agent. Like, I just did it because in the minor leagues, where I was with the Oakland A's, I was only making $1,200 a month. That's right, $1,200 a month. Okay, so for those of you who say you're in poverty, I'm sure you're probably making more than $1,200 a month. I think people get more than that when they're on unemployment and all these other things, okay? So I was literally like below minimum wage. We one time did the math, and it came out to like $3 an hour. It was crazy. And also too, to make matters worse, we only got paid while we were playing 6 months out of the year. So I got $1,200 for 6 months, which was like $7,000. And then for the other 6 months, I got no money. So I made $7,000 a year. Okay, I would assume if you're watching this, you probably make more than $7,000 a year. Well, for me, I had to go and work as a real estate agent because I couldn't get a job. Nobody was going to go let me leave for 6 months out of the year to play baseball. They weren't going to let me leave, the office to go practice in the off season. So I thought being a realtor would be cool. Like if I'm a realtor, I can work my own hours, get commissions, make money, etc. Well, it didn't work out that way. 2010, as I talked about, was like the best time to buy real estate in hindsight because prices were so cheap. But the problem was everyone was scared and no one had money. Everyone just got wiped out from the Great Recession. And so they couldn't qualify for loans. No one had cash. Deals were everywhere, but nobody could take advantage. And it was really hard as a realtor to sell those deals because it was hard to find buyers. And even if I did, a property wouldn't even like pay me that much. Like $100,000 home was like basically the average home in Las Vegas in 2010. It was like $100,000. That was the median price. And so even if I sold a normal home, I made at best $3,000. It was terrible, okay? So I eventually stopped being a realtor. I did it for a few years. I kept my license up until 2018. So, I had my license for a while, but I stopped really trying to get clients after a couple years because I was like, this sucks. I hate it. And honestly, the turning point for me was one time I showed a house to a client and the client said, it was this brand new house built in 2008. This is in 2010. And, it had sold for $350,000 brand new in 2008. No one had ever really even lived in it. And it was now priced at $90,000. And I showed the client the house and I'm like, hey, this is a really good deal. I mean, it's brand new, $90,000, like 1,600 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And he goes, hey, what can we offer? I think we could probably get a deal on it. And I'm like, dude, we can offer whatever. He said, let's offer $70,000. And I was like, okay, cool. This house just sold for $350,000. $70,000 is like, you're getting it. Like, it's such a great deal. So I write up the offer and stuff. He calls me back later that day and he goes, hey, you know what? Don't even submit the offer. And I go, why? He said, because I think that prices are going to go even lower. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, is the house going to be free? I don't understand. Like, how are prices going to get lower? And, he just said, you don't get it yet. You're young, but, I think prices are going to go lower. And it was at that point in my life, I realized I did not want to be a realtor. And I hated working with clients. So, I didn't last as a realtor. I was always great at finding deals, but not great at dealing with bad clients. But nonetheless, I stopped doing real estate and I ended up meeting my now wife, Mindy. And so we get engaged when we're really young. She had just turned like 19 when we got engaged. And I'm a struggling minor league baseball player trying to figure out my life. And to make matters even worse, in 2012, the Oakland A's released me. And so, I'm engaged, I'm about to get married. The A's release me. I suck as a realtor. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I'm broke. Baseball, I thought, was my only way out. That ain't happening. Real estate ain't happening. But I'm going to have a wife who's going to school and getting student loan debt to become a teacher, which, a teacher makes $40,000 a year. So, which, by the way, was a lot of money for us at the time. But, thinking about our future, I'm like, it's not looking too good right now. So what am I going to do? Well, what ended up happening was I stumbled into something called couch flipping, which many of you maybe have seen my YouTube videos on. And it's crazy. We got married in October and, we furnished the apartment with all furniture on Craigslist. I used all of our money from the wedding to buy the furniture. And I got it for like $1,000. And I remember sitting there just looking at it and I'm like, man, I got such good deals on these. Like, I was patting myself on the back and I was like, I bet I could probably sell this stuff for like $3,000 because I just got such good deals. And then I just started thinking, I was like, well, it only took me like a few days to get all these stuff. Like, I could make $2,000 in like a few days if I just did this all the time. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna test it. So I went out and bought a couch and I brought it back to the house and Mindy was like, why do you, like, we already have a couch. Why'd you buy another couch? And I'm like, trust me, I think this is gonna make money. And so, I relist the couch, I clean it up a little bit and, eventually I sell it and make a $200 profit. And I'm like, imagine if I just bought a couch every day. $200 profit, that's $6,000 a month. And that's exactly what happened. I ended up starting to buy couch after couch after couch. I got a storage unit, I bought a truck, and couch flipping became my first successful business. I ended up making $8,000 net at my peak every single month. And it was crazy. It changed my life. And, we were balling, at that point from couch flipping. I thought we had made it. But, after about a year of doing it, I started to feel really empty from it. It wasn't very purposeful. When people would ask what I did for work, it was like, yeah, I flip couches. It was kind of like not the coolest thing that you were proud of. And so, yeah, I was like, man, what am I gonna do with my life? And so we were on our 1-year anniversary, and I was praying to God, and I was like, God, what do you want me to do? You know, like, I'm not gonna flip couches the rest of my life. I already failed at real estate. I failed at baseball. And I just remember him whispering to me, real estate investing. I was like, real estate investing, okay. I mean, it's not being a realtor, which is good. You know I can find deals and negotiate. I've always been good at that. So, you know, I just didn't have money. I'm like, you know, even though I made good money flipping couches, I was still playing baseball, trying to make it 6 months out of the year, making no money. So, you know, the couch flipping was like good while it was going, but then I would go broke the other 6 months. Well, long story short, I end up learning about hard money loans and things I'm about to teach you in this 5-method series, and it changed my life. You know, I was able to use some of these methods I'm going to share with you, and I was able to buy my very first deal. And this was my first house flip back in 2015. As you can see on the bottom part, I bought it for $99,000 back in March. And if you look at the top, you can see I relisted it only a couple of days after buying it for $135,000. So I bought it for $99,000 and I relisted it basically as is. I didn't even put very much work into it. I put a couple $1,000s and I relisted it, got new pictures, and within a couple of days I got a full price offer at $135,000. That offer ended up closing and I made $25,000 that first deal. It absolutely changed my life and the trajectory of everything that I've done. And it's that one deal that's allowed me to get to where I'm at today because I took that one risk. And, you know, the part I didn't mention about the story, you know, because we're going to go into different ways to find capital, was that I had to max out my credit cards to the tune of $50,000 to get the down payment to buy this house. Now, there are other methods that you can use now that, you know, we teach, but, you know, at that time, the credit cards were the only thing I knew. And, you know, I just applied for a bunch and I got 0% credit. You know, I had my wife apply and we just pulled all of our credit together and had $50,000. And I said, all right, we're going all in. And so I bought the property and it paid off. We made $25,000. And I said, man, imagine if I just did a few of these a year. We can make 6 figures, you know? Imagine if I did one a month. We can make multiple 6 figures. That'd be crazy. So one deal changed my life. And the reason I tell this story is because one deal can change your life. I know it can. It's changed mine. We've had tons of students have their lives changed from just one deal. Since that first deal, I've done a lot. You know, we flipped over 500 plus homes. We have gotten over 550 plus rental units between my own portfolio, and I started a fund called Pineda Capital where we raise money from investors and buy big apartment buildings. So we've accumulated a lot of rental properties from that fund. And then, you know, I only work 2 hours a week at this business. You know, I run a lot of other businesses now, but this business is automated fully and we get deals every single week. And it's pretty amazing. So today, as it stands, you know, I've got over 2 million followers on social media, you know, 6 businesses generating 7 to 8 figures a year. You know, I do 30-hour work weeks. I still like to work. I'm like, I don't want to retire. I want to keep building. But also at the same time, I still don't want to work like 60 hours. Like 30 is good. You know, I golf, hang out with my kids. I'm home by 5:30 every night, you know, so I can have dinner with my family. Like, it's the lifestyle that I want to live. So why do I share all this with you? Okay, that's the big question. Because I was once where you are today, and I've seen the other side, and you can too. Okay, so, you know, for those of you like who are inspired and everything else, get ready, because I'm gonna teach you now what you can do. Like, hopefully your mindset is shifted and you believe. If you're already knowing you want to work with us based on what I've already shared with you, you know, you don't even have to watch the rest of this. You can just book a free call with our team right below this video. And like I said, the strategy call is free. Our team will literally walk through you step by step of, you know, what it looks like to work with us and how we can help you hit your goals. Feel free to do that. Even if you do it right now and, you know, you're still watching the rest of this training, totally cool. But the sooner you do it, the better, because our strategist calendars get booked really fast. Here's a quick testimonial before we jump into this. You know, you got Luke here on the left who made 30K net profit, and he just got 8 units under contract too. Then you got Kwame, who, you know, is only a part of the group for 3 months, and he's able to put 2 off-market properties under contract that he's going to keep as a rental. So amazing. I love it. Okay. So all that being said, let's talk about the 5 methods, how to invest in real estate with no money. All right, so this is how we've gotten over 1,000 properties without using my own money. We flipped over 500 homes, and we got over 550 plus rental units, okay? I've raised other people's money to do all of these deals, okay? So let's talk about method number one, private money lenders. So what are private money lenders? These are friends or family members who have money. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, I don't know a lot of people with money. Wrong. There's people with money. You just don't know they have money. Now, how do you get people to give you money for real estate investing? Well, there's a few ways you can structure this, and some things that you can let your lenders know so they're protected. Okay. First thing is, how do they make money with you? Well, one is you could just do what we call a profit split. So maybe you go to the lender and you say, hey, I got this really good deal. Do you want a profit split on it? Let's go 50-50 or whatever you agree to. It could be 60-40, 70-30, who knows, right? But let's just say you go 50-50 with them and, you guys buy the deal together and whatever you guys make, you split 50-50. I've done a lot of those deals with private lenders. You can too. I mean, if you came to even a guy like me, right, and you had a deal that was going to go make $100,000 net profit and I only had to put up $200,000, I mean, that'd be a great return on my money, right? I put up $200,000, I'm going to go make 50 grand off this deal, in the span of a few months. Like, that is a huge return, okay? And so there's lots of lenders and people with money who just don't know what to do with it. And you can help them make a great return. Another way to do it is just by coming to an agreement on interest. So like a common one that we do is we pay our lenders 1% per month. And so if somebody lends me $200,000, let's say, I will pay them 1% of that each month. So 1% of $200,000 is $2,000 a month. And so however long it takes me to flip it, maybe it takes me 5 months, that is going to be $10,000 to the lender plus, their original investment back. So for them, to make 1% a month would come out to 12% for a year. It's great money for a lender, right? Stock market ain't giving you 12%, right? And the beauty of, when you're talking to potential lenders is letting them know that, hey, real estate is secured. At the end of the day, if you fund this entire deal, you're going to get what's called a deed of trust on the property, and we're going to write a note and everything else. You don't need to know these terms. Title companies will do all of this for you. But basically, if the worst case scenario happens, they're going to essentially just get the property. That's what's going to happen, worst case. And so knowing that the worst case is they just have a piece of real estate, it's a lot lower risk than, say, a stock or crypto where it could just literally go to zero, okay? So the real estate's not going to zero, okay? The land, the building, it all has value. So private money lenders are an amazing resource. And I'll actually talk about here in a second how you can utilize private lenders who may not have, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but maybe they have 20,000 or 30,000. There are ways to get them involved too, which I'll share with you, okay? Method number two is this, hard money lenders. Now, hard money lenders are professional lenders that specialize in investment opportunities like fix and flips, okay? So, if you've ever tried to get a conventional loan, you probably know that it was a really hard process. Maybe you were denied, and they said, hey, you got to have 2 years tax returns of, consistent W-2 income. You see that a lot. Sometimes they might say, hey, your credit score isn't very good, blah, 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 right? They might say that, hey, your debt to income ratio is too high. Your car payment is too high. We can't do that, okay? Well, hard money lenders don't really care about any of that, to be honest. I mean, all they're concerned about is the deal you're getting. They're going to look at this deal and say, hey, this person's buying a property for $200,000 that's worth $300,000. Like, we will fund the deal. We know it's good. We're not buying into the person's credit. We're buying into the property. There's a big difference. And, there's pros and cons with hard money lenders. The cons are it's going to definitely be higher interest. The fees are going to be higher. You're not getting a 30-year fixed loan. It's usually only 12 months. But if you're flipping the deal, it's not that big of a deal. And even if you go past 12 months, there's extension clauses where you can keep extending the loan. I've had to do that before. But, the pros of hard money lenders is, number one, they don't care about the things I just mentioned, right? They're just concerned about the deal. And number two, they can close really fast You know, they can close as fast as cash. I've had hard money lenders close in like less than 5 days on a property, right? So hard money lenders are an amazing resource, especially if you combine them with private money, which we'll talk about here shortly. Okay. Method number 3 is this. You know, you can get credit cards and lines of credit. I talked about how my very first deal, I had to max out my credit cards for $50,000. Okay. And it definitely was what sparked my business. I'm so grateful I did it. In fact, I kept my credit cards maxed out for like 2 years, and I didn't even care about my credit. Like, my credit sucked for 2 years, but I was making good money. You know, I went from being broke to making $50K my very first year flipping houses, and then I made over $200,000 in year 2. And then in year 3, I made over $750,000. So, you know, it grew really quick, and it was heavily funded by these first 3 methods that I'm telling you about. You know, I used credit cards, I used private money, I used hard money, and that was how I was able to scale so quickly in just 3 years. But credit cards are a great choice, especially if you're able to go get these 0% cards for, you know, 12 or 18 months. Lines of credit are also great. So one of the things we do for our students at Wealthy Investor is we get them an LLC set up completely for free. Now, you still got to pay like the filing fees for the LLC, but we get them set up from our side on like the labor of getting the operating agreement, all that stuff. That's free, okay? Now, once you have an LLC, obviously you're more protected when you flip and wholesale and everything else. So, you know, you should definitely get the LLC. You know, if you join us, you get it for free. But also too, now you can start establishing business credit. And we can actually go through a process of helping you get business credit so that you can now fund your deals or marketing or expenses or any of that stuff, you know, education even, right? Did you know, just FYI, education is a tax deduction, right? The moment you have an LLC and you're building a business, you can write off your education that you pay to join Wealthy Investor as a deduction. So a lot of people don't know that, but it's a really cool thing. Once you start owning a business, you get all of the tax write-offs. You know, if you ever come to one of our events like WealthCon, that's a tax write-off. The travel, the food, the hotel, the event itself, it's all write-offs. So owning a business is great. And so credit cards, lines of credit, LLC, they all go hand in hand. All right. Method number 4 is called creative finance. And I mean, I could talk about this for days. You know, we don't have enough time on this course to break down every little thing about creative finance, but I'll tell you the 2 main points about it, okay? The one way is called subject to investing, all right? And basically what that is when instead of like paying off a seller's mortgage like you normally would, so in a typical transaction, you would get a mortgage, okay, in your own loan, and then you would buy the house from the seller and you would pay off the seller's loan. But did you know you can actually buy houses without you having to get a loan and you just utilizing the seller's loan? Okay, that's what subject to investing is. You know, we showed one of the testimonials earlier where they took over a 3.2% interest loan. It's like, man, that'd be great to take over that loan right now, especially when rates are double that. Well, that's exactly what subject to is. You can actually take over these low interest loans and not have to get your own loan and not have to qualify for credit and, you know, get a great rental property. So that's subject to. Seller finance is when typically the seller owns the home outright and, you know, they don't have a loan on it or anything. And instead of you getting a loan to just go pay them cash, they end up becoming the bank and giving you a loan. Now, why would they do this? Well, you know, we always ask sellers like, hey, so once you sell the home, what do you plan to do with the money? And many of them are like, I don't know, it's just going to sit in the bank. And you're like, well, you know, instead of it sitting in the bank and making 0%, you know, 0.01%, why don't you lend it to me to buy your house from you, right? And that's how you start to negotiate. But, you know, you could try and get a 4%, a 3%, a 6%. Like, it could end up being a better win for the seller, and that's why they do seller finance, because it's actually a better use of their money. Now, let's talk about method number 5, which is wholesaling. Now, wholesaling is an amazing tool, and I talked a little bit about it before, but if you have no idea what wholesaling is, okay, I'm going to break it down for you in 1 minute. Wholesaling is this. You, as the wholesaler, you know, slash house flipper, let's call it, go to a seller and get a property under contract, okay? So we get this property under contract for 200 grand. We know it's worth over 300, once we go and fix and flip it. So it's a good deal. Now, we could go use any of the other 4 methods that I just talked about and, try to go raise money and get $200,000 and get the renovation expense and all that stuff. By the way, hard money lenders will cover your renovation. I forgot to add that in, but let's just say you could do that, and then you're going to have to go and buy it and then do the construction and then put it on the market and sell it. That would be one option. The other option is you could just wholesale it to an end buyer. So an end buyer would be somebody else who's going to flip it, or somebody who wants to keep it as a rental portfolio. So what happens is if you have it under contract for $200 and somebody else is willing to pay you $230,000 for it, you don't have to buy it first and get the money to then just sell it to them. You can actually do what's called a contract assignment. And you can assign the contract to them, basically the rights to purchase this property for $200,000 in exchange for the difference between what you get them to agree to versus what you have under contract. In this case, they said they're willing to pay $230,000. You've got it for $200,000. You're now going to make a $30,000, what we call assignment fee. So how this ends up playing out at the close is, this end buyer is going to fund $230,000 to the title company. The seller's going to get the $200,000 that they agreed to, and the wholesaler is going to make $30,000 for the difference. And the flipper is either going to fix it up and then go sell it again for a profit, or they're just going to keep it in their rental portfolio. So wholesaling is amazing, and it's such a great way for you to go make $20,000 really fast, because guess what? If you found the right deal today that you got under contract in the scenario I just said, let's say you got it today, you could find a buyer literally within minutes. Like if you've got a buyer's list built out, which we teach our students how to do, the moment you text them with the deal, most people will tell you yes or no within 5 minutes, if they're a legitimate buyer. And so, you assign it to them, and many of them can close in a couple of weeks. And, let's just say it's 30 days, like boom, you just made 30 grand in 30 days. Okay, wholesaling has the power to do that. It's absolutely incredible. We have so many students who wholesale their very first deal, and it just completely changes their life. Let's talk about how to actually raise capital, right? We talked about the 5 different methods. How do you go about getting people to give you that money, okay? So let's talk about the private lenders, okay? So first off, private money lenders are relationship based. It's not like there's just all these people out there that are like, hey, just give me 12%, I'm ready to roll. There are people like that, but at the end of the day, it's very relationship based. It's like, hey, I know you, you know me, we trust each other. Here's what I can do if you, allow me to utilize your money for an investment. So just remember, it's always relationship based. Number 2, tell people what you do, right? Nobody's going to give you money unless you tell them what you do. Like, it's not going to just magically drop on your front door. You have to constantly be out there saying, hey, I'm investing in real estate. If you got any money just sitting in your savings account making nothing, we can go make way more money together. 3, you got to structure win-win deals. All right. So, you got to go for deals that benefit both them and you. Don't just make it one-sided. Figure out how to make a win-win deal for both of you guys. Lastly, pitch the safety of real estate. I talked about it before, but in many cases, the worst thing that can happen is they end up just getting a home. All right. So that being said, let's talk about hard money lenders. So first off, look at nationwide lenders. All right. There's a lot of nationwide lenders out there. If you just search hard money lenders, you'll see a bunch pop up on Google. Finding hard money is not hard, and they'll usually fund 80 to 90% of the deal. Okay. Both purchase price and rehab. At Wealthy Investor, we can get you special deals with hard money lenders as well. We've got relationships with them. We link our students up with them and get them special discounts. Also, too, search for local lenders. You could search Las Vegas hard money lenders and see who pops up. So a lot of things you can do with hard money lenders that are really exciting. But, this is one that we use a lot called hybrid funding, okay? And this is mixing private money with hard money. So essentially what you're going to do is get a hard money loan, say for 80 to 90%. So let's just say, $200,000 home, you need about 40 grand if it's 20% for your down payment and your closing cost and, all this stuff, right? Well, maybe you don't have 40 grand, but your friend or family member who does. Well, Now you merge those two things together. You take your friend or your family member who's got 40, you get a hard money loan for the majority of it, and now you can buy this deal with none of your own money. I do this today a lot, and it's made me millions of dollars. It's made my lenders millions of dollars. It's made my hard money lenders millions of dollars. Like, everyone has won. It's the definition of a win-win. And you can structure those private money deals the same. It can be interest, it can be profit split, lots of things that you can do. So hybrid funding is one of my favorite ways to get deals done. All right, we're gonna go over a few other things, but you can book a call with the team today if you want to join our program and get connected with lenders. Like I said, we've got so many relationships. If you haven't booked your strategy call yet, you can just do it down below with our team, and we can help you get connected with some of these hard money lenders, okay? So, if you're lucky, you might be able to do some 100K deals like Ryan Schultz did on the left, you can see. And then you can see on the right, Lisa had a wire in for $148,000, so absolutely incredible. And here's the thing, if you want to make $100,000 this year, the math is pretty simple, all right? You could do 2 flips that make $50,000 each, right? I mean, at the end of the day, prices across the nation, it's like the median price is around $400,000 plus. So, in our typical flips, we're aiming for a 10% plus profit margin. So, if you flip median priced homes, I mean, you could be making $50,000 profits on, your normal deal, all right? Or if you don't want to flip, you could do 5 wholesales with a $20,000 profit, right? Like, there's lots of wholesale opportunities. We have consistently hit over $20,000 wholesale fees, and you can too as you learn to find these deals and you learn to find buyers, okay? Or, a route we haven't even talked about is Airbnb, right? You could go and just get 6 Airbnbs with $1,500 a month cash flow on each of those Airbnbs. We have a program at Wealthy Investor called Pro Host where we teach our students how to do Airbnb and make money, and actually how to do Airbnb without having to own the Airbnb. So we've got everything you need at Wealthy Investor, whether you want to flip, wholesale, do Airbnbs, buy rentals, we do it all, okay? And we've had many students do it too. If any of you follow me on YouTube, you can go search for this video. I actually did it with 2 of my students, Clint and Hector, some of the fastest growing students we've ever had. Clint made over $1 million his first year. Hector did it in year 2. So just crazy, okay? And this is actually a picture from one of our events where we honor all of our 7-figure award winners. So right there, I mean, there's like, 30 people on stage, all who did over 7 figures. And that wasn't even everyone. That was just the people who happened to be at that event. They all did 7 figures plus in that last year of real estate investing. And I expect to have that stage twice the size, 3 times the size, next year when we do it again in January. And I think one day you could be on that stage, right? It starts with going 6 figures first, but eventually you get to 7 figures. And if you do the things that we teach you at Wealthy Investor, those are all possibilities in due time, okay? So for me, real estate changed my life, okay? I get to spend more time than ever with my family. I've built more wealth than I could ever imagine. I never thought I'd be making the money I've made from real estate. I've been able to employ my sister and retire my parents and retire my in-laws. We actually bought both my parents and my in-laws houses next to us so that they could see their grandkids and, I mean, truthfully, have a go-to babysitter whenever we need it. But we've been able to retire them and get them cars and get them houses, and it's all because of real estate investing. But more importantly, all because of that first deal I showed you guys, in the beginning. The fact that I did that first deal set me on the path for this. And I have true freedom now. I have true freedom because of real estate investing. And you can have all that too. I mean, truthfully, you can have all the things that we're talking about. You've seen the students do it. I've told you my story. But here's the thing. You're still going to need help, all right? Even though you know the 5 methods, you're still going to need help, okay? There's a lot that we haven't covered. Like, there's no way I could teach you everything about real estate investing, in under an hour, right? You still need to learn how to find deals. Like, this is the key to raising money and doing the things I just talked about, the 5 different methods. You got to first have a deal. And learning how to analyze deals, learning how to find them is key. Analyzing is such a big part on whether or not it's going to pencil out, whether you're going to be able to sell it or make money. So you got to learn that. You got to learn how to manage contractors, right? If we're going to flip, we're going to be dealing with construction. So, we got to learn how to do that. We got to learn how to build a company. As you scale, you don't want to be the one doing everything, right? The only reason I'm able to work 2 hours a week is because I've built a company who does everything for me. So we teach our students first how to do it themselves and then build a company after that. You got to learn how to hire and fire people. That's part of owning a company, right? It sucks, but that is part of it, and that's how you scale. And that's just to name a few. There's a lot more that goes into real estate investing, obviously, but there's so much to learn, and I just know we can help you, okay? So the good news is we can give you everything you need at Wealthy Investor, okay? And I'm just so excited for what we have in store for the future. We have so many great events. Our coaching programs keep getting better. We keep getting better and better coaches and students, and they're all doing deals with each other. It's so amazing. If you're curious on what we actually offer, we've got multiple Zoom calls every single week with experts. People who have done the game, talked the talk, walked the walk, right? Like they've done it. We've got accountability coaches to keep you on track. So literally, you can book a call with a coach at any moment and get your questions answered. You're going through a problem, you're not feeling it, we got somebody to help you get through the rut. You got yourself into a bind, you need help getting a lender, we got you. We have the accountability coaches to do that and check in on you to make sure that you are doing what you are supposed to do. We also have a community that you can instantly connect with in your market. So, one of the benefits is because our community is growing so big, we've trained thousands of students. We're able to connect you with wholesalers in your market, lenders in your market, other buyers for your wholesales in your market, people that you can go have lunch with and build community with and develop great friendships with because you guys are both in the Wealthy Investor Network. We've got amazing events that are just the best in the industry. Point blank, our events are, and I don't want to say this cocky, but they're the best. And so to, have you start coming to some of our events and meeting, not only myself and my team, but amazing guest speakers that we bring. We've had guys like Brandon Turner, Brad Lee, Alex Hormozy, Cody Sanchez, so many amazing investors. Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, all these guys have spoke at our event and interacted in our community. And I would love to see you at one of our events as well. And you're going to get all the systems, the processes, the documents, the contracts, the tools, everything you need, everything that I've had to build in my business because it didn't exist. I just give it to you. You already, it's just, you have the blueprint, you have everything. And it's just served up on a platter for you to have success. In the end, if you're ready to learn more, you can book a call by filling out the form below. You can see some testimonials here that being in the mastermind was one of the best decisions they ever made. Closing their first deal, $21,000 assignment fee. We see this stuff every single day in our program, okay? And here's the thing, man. Speed is the key, all right? From 2010 to 2015, I didn't flip a house because I didn't know how. Seriously, I didn't flip one because I didn't know how. I had gotten into real estate in 2010. I saw it go up. I somewhat knew how to find deals, so I had a little head start, but I didn't know how to raise money. I didn't know the intricacies of flipping. And so I didn't flip a house, in one of the best times ever. And I lost 5 years because I didn't pursue a program like this. At the end of the day, yes, information is freely available, but if you've been following me for an extended period of time, why haven't you done a deal yet, right? If the information is out there. At the end of the day, what you are paying for when you get into coaching is speed. You are paying to shortcut your time frame. It took me 5 years to do my first deal, okay? I want to get you there in 5 weeks. That's my goal, right? And if there was a program like this when I started, I would have did it way faster. It wouldn't have taken 5 years. I wouldn't have lost all the money I could have been making during those years and struggling. I could have changed my life that moment by investing in a program like this. Take control of your future today. Let us help you build your real estate empire. It's pretty simple. You just got to book a call with our strategy team today. It's right under this video. I know that we can change your life. And truthfully, I hope this course brought you a ton of value and opened your eyes to what's possible. I hope your mindset is shifted a little bit to help you believe you can do this. But the truth of the matter is there's still a lot more that goes into it, and we want to be able to assist you with everything that is going to happen when you start taking action. And we want to be there to guide you and give you all the resources and give you the best chance of success and the quickest chance to success. And I know we can do that in our programs. And honestly, just so you know, we have money back guarantees in our program. So you have nothing to lose by booking the call. Most people will finish this course and do nothing with it. Unfortunately, that's the case, but I don't want you to be one of those people. I want you to take action and, let us, really partner with you and help you grow your business, and in turn, change your family's life and those around you, and, give you the life that you deserve. So hope you enjoyed this course. We'd love to help you out, Wealthy Investor. Book a call down below, and hopefully I'll be seeing you at one of our events here soon. Take care.
Nobody anticipates losing money when they go into business. The only reason I was able to get through losing a couple million on bad flips is because those three things can never be taken away from you.